That's that one done. Set to soybeans. So for grass work, I'm thinking this one. It's 4.3 working width, 80 horsepower. What's that one? Oh, that's 2.0. That's the smaller. That one. It's probably got the best working width I can get for the price. What's that? Yeah, that was the smaller one. And then obviously that's doable, but then that blows us into 200 horsepower, so that's only 16. And windrowers, probably go for this one. That one's got a good working width, fits within a horsepower, but because of the fields that we're going to be driving over, this one probably works the best. You can do it because it's one-sided. You can run around the field, pulling everything away from the fences and the hedges, and then if you run up the field and then immediately adjacent run back down, you can create a double swath, similar sort of size to that. It's only 50 horse as well. Tedders, even afford one of those. So I'm guessing we could afford the grass cutting equipment. It's just buying the field that's a potential problem at the moment. The field I'll be looking at is probably this one. It's only 96,000, 97,000. That one includes an arable field, 242. That one's 202. That one's 167. That one includes a lot of fields, 244. That one's 208, includes a second field. So this is the cheapest. That's a little more expensive, is 2 fields of grass. I think, oh, that's even cheaper, 58. That's a lot. And that's a lot. So G9 is a possibility as well. G12 contains forestry. But this is close to the farm. We go out onto the main road, cross the bridge over the stream, and that's, as you turn left there, that's the entrance to the grass field. So everything's on. I think that's the immediate plans. I might buy the other field. It's a little further away, after we've got the first one and the grass cutting equipment. No, leave it down. also want to get myself a planter so I can get back into sunflowers and corn. And at this point, that's not going to happen immediately. Thing was we got the corn and the cereal headers, but we only had a planter for the cereals. So we're kind of running the budget as tight as possible. As it is, to buy that field, we're going to want, call it 110, probably going to want 130,000 euros in the bank just to buy the field and the equipment we're going to need for it. But then buying the grass cutting equipment doesn't leave us with anything left to give the grass to. I could just cut grass and stick it in one of the silage clamps and sell that. Although the BGA is a little expensive on this map. So I'd be limited to selling it at the barn. Not that that's a bad thing. I just like having a BGA so that I can make digestate. Try and avoid running over the active crop. Hush to the beeping phone. I see the birds are back chasing me around again. Looks like I'm going to have to run down to the end of the field again. So I might plant this in two halves. We'll run back. do some in CAD driving. With the planter the width of the tractor, it's not like it's difficult to keep on not. Obviously my turns are leave a little bit to be desired. The rest of it should be fairly easy if we keep the mud guard somewhere along the edge of the planted section. Tree gonna be in the way, yep. I think my tractor's dirty. The other advantage with this setup is I'm not wasting a lot of money on workers. If I stuck a worker in this tractor, I'd have nothing to do for myself. Unlike Mercury farms, where I've got workers going almost 24/7. This is still a very pretty map. Okay. Although not so much the big expanse at the north end that you can just buy and do whatever you want with. Looks like a good fit. just gone 10. I think what I'll try to do tonight is get these 3 fields fertilized as well. I think that will have us all completely caught up as far as working our own stuff is concerned. Should probably take a look at prices at store, see if it's worth selling anything yet as well. Okay, gonna be another tree in the way. The other advantage with the planter is most of them have fertilizer in. Okay. Still going to go and end up in the wrong place to do the end of that field, this field. Looks fine. Presuming I dropped it. Yep. How worrisome is the seed level? 22%. I think we got this covered. So let's skip the next one, I'll go down this one. bit there. Maybe not. Okay. Around the tree again, mind the canola. This row is a little wide. And yay, children in bed at last. Do that one and we can come back to this one. Is going to end up at the bottom of the field. Ugh. That's annoying. Try not to hit the tree and not to drive on the crop. Somewhere up here, just round this tree. That'll do nicely. Okay. Oh yes, we did that. I think that one was the one on Mercury Farms. But yeah, we were ploughing the very last field, so I figured rather than drive all the way back, fix it, and then drive back to the field just to finish it off, I'd finish it off in broken state, take it back, fix it, stick it in the shed. We're now on Mercury. We're well on our way to finishing off the seeding. Kind of like here. Oh, we are going to end up at the top of the field. This farm I bought the Lemken subsoiler. It's only 3 metre wide because the size of the tractor is not capable of pulling a 4 metre wide. Okay. So we're going to have to do a little bit of shuffling here. There we go. So up here, and then we can finish the end section. Vehicle inspectors started reporting that it's worried about our seed levels. I think we might do okay though. Yes, the Lemken's mod, and they just updated the mod patch or patched the mod today and added a couple of power harrows. Sadly, the power harrows are 200 plus horsepower requirement, so not something I can run on this farm. In fact, for what it's worth, the Lemkens I've found generally are a higher horsepower requirement than the Kuhn subsoilers, and also the other one we have in game. Okay, how's this going to work? This one's probably going to work okay. Donk. The next one we're going to have to be going north on. West or something, up the hill. Okay, let's get in the tractor and see how we're doing here. Oops, a little bit of a wonder there. Yes, the yellow one. I think the yellow one's the one I'm using on Mercury Farms. I started that farm before the Lemken stuff came out. One thing I found with seeding in 19 versus 17, soybeans use more seed in 19. Canola uses less. Try not to run the I don't have any controllers. I have a what's it, a joystick, and that is a very poor second to a steering wheel when attempting to drive stuff. Flying stuff I prefer a joystick, but driving stuff I prefer a wheel. It's more natural, and I don't have any other gaming controllers that I could use since we don't own Xboxes or PlayStations or anything like that. But since to use my desktop I need to be sat at my desk anyway, I don't find it a hardship to play with a wheel. Now maybe if I was playing on a laptop that would change things. Oh, there's a tree in the way. I think we're going to be considering logging sometime. I think for the most part Arthur used a steering wheel for 17 as well. I started off with the keyboard, found that less than adequate. Since I had a joystick, I used that, and for the most part it was okay. I mean, obviously it's push forward to go forward, push back to go backwards, and left and right to turn the steering wheel left and right. But you kind of got into trouble usually when I was trying to put things away and I'm trying to reverse and I'm trying to remember which way to turn the stick to get the trailer to go a certain direction. I get it going the right way, and then rather than slowing down, I'd accelerate and crash into a wall or lopsided. At that point I decided while a joystick does work, it's not good for fine adjustments. And from there I went and used, actually got the Farm Sim 17 side panel and wheel from Cytec, and I had a lot of problems with their wheels. I bought one, one of them failed, and so I contacted their help desk, and it took about 3 weeks to get a replacement. And I got the replacement, and 2 weeks later it broke in exactly the same way as the first one, which did not make me happy. So at that point I figured, rather than calling them again and saying, yes, this replacement you sent me is a piece of crap, and taking another 3 weeks to get a new one, I just said, to heck with it, I'll get a decent wheel, since they just went on sale on Amazon, and so I'm using a G29. And I have had no complaints with it whatsoever. The only complaint I had was with the Cytec wheel. There's two little sort of joystick things. One of them was used to walk forwards, backwards, left and right, and the other one was used to adjust the camera angle or the view angle up, down, left and right. So with those two joysticks you could actually walk around without taking your fingers off the steering wheel. And with the way this is all set up, and I don't have any auxiliary joystick options, if I want to get out the tractor and walk, I have to use WASD on the keyboard. Well, that's the thing. The Cytec side panel, which I'm still using in spite of the fact that the steering wheels were bad. The side panel itself I've had no option and no problems with. Makes an excellent front loader operator. Primarily because it's a fingertip joystick rather than a whole hand joystick. So it's very easy to just sort of nudge it around with the tips of your fingers rather than grab it in your whole hand and try and manipulate stuff. This is going to be very, very close. Where is that strip of missed bit? There. But yes, I love using a joystick on the front loader. I also got quite good at it for Farm Sim 17. The logging equipment. What was it? The tree felling, the big tree felling thing that sort of hugs a tree and then strips it and cuts it into length. Scorpion King. That could all be operated from the joystick. And the loading cranes also could. Now, because there was a little bit of a mess up when they set up Farm Sim 19, initially front loader operations didn't work too well, so I ended up using a mouse for that. and the Scorpion King and loading arms on various logging trailers were just a nightmare. I mean, so much of a nightmare I still haven't done the tutorial for logging on FarmSim 19. The whole thing was completely horrible. Now, since I think patch 1.2, they kind of fixed that. But I still haven't been back and done the tutorial yet. Okay, I can turn that off. We have, what's that, 37 seed left. I think I'm not going to bother emptying